guys, welcome back. Really, this video, I'm gonna be honest, just a rant. Stuff that's bothered me over the years from other photographers, things that bother me in general in photography, and it's just 20 things that have bothered me, what grinds my gears about the world of photography. So the very first thing that bothers me is you'll post a picture on the internet. First question out of everyone's mouth is, wow, what camera did you take that on? Like, people don't give the shooter their due. You don't just say, hey, you did a really good job, or you nailed that shot, or anything like that. It's always, what did you use? What was your settings? Like, granted, yes, the camera did take the picture, but I'm the one controlling it. Like, give the photographer their dues. Then the next thing is, don't trespass. Like, don't make the rest of the photography world look bad. Just don't break the laws. It's not hard. Now, like, another thing is, stay 500 feet away from an eagle's nest. The Fish and Game Commission will go after you. Don't be dumb. Don't fly drones where you shouldn't be flying them. Don't be harassing wildlife with them. That's why those rules are there, because of people doing it. And, like, don't be guy with camera. Don't go around trying to get women to be scandalous clothes just so you can take pictures of them in very unprofessional ways and make it look bad. If you're out taking pictures and you don't want to give up the location on social media, you don't have to. People get mad, let them get mad. It's not your problem. When people say straight out of the camera, people post pictures straight out of the camera, no editing. Like, you're in my mind and most people's minds, you have to edit the photo. That's why you shoot RAW. If you're shooting JPEG, sure, but the camera is going to do auto processing on the JPEG to make it look however the color science is programmed to be. When you shoot RAW, there's no color science. You have to do it yourself. So straight out of the camera just means they're using Canon, Nikon, Fuji, Sony's pre-programmed settings for the JPEG. Like, you're not showing off or anything. It's just, that's just how it comes out. Every time someone buys a long lens, first thing they do is take a picture of the moon. Why? Why is it the first thing you take a picture of? There's so many things in the world. All the moons look the same. Everyone's moonshot looks the same. If you're gonna do it, be creative. If I post a picture of an eagle and the next person has to post a picture of their eagle, like, I get you want to be part of the conversation and you probably don't mean anything negative about it, but it does come off as a one-upmanship thing. Like, oh, you got a picture of an eagle, I got a picture of an eagle too, mine's better. It's just can come off as strange unless as part of constructive criticism and what I post and you're showing me how to do it better and you explain that. Other than that, it comes off as an ego thing. Another thing that I don't get is, like, people will say, oh, this beautiful landscape, I shot it on a phone, I shot it on an iPhone. Like, no one cares. Just show us what you can do. Like, show us your skills and your ability with what you got. We don't need to know what gear it is. That's fine. Like, HDR is supposed to be a stack of photos you take at different exposures to widen your dynamic range when editing and post. HDR is not take one picture on your phone or camera, edit it to hell and back to where the blacks are so crushed and the whites are so overdone, and you add texture and noise, and it's just, and then you, like, create all these weird freaky colors in it. That's not HDR. If you want a good example of bad HDR, go to r/shitty HDR. It's hilarious. You'll love it. More that I can't stand is people will post photos that clearly needs work on, and they're acting like it's God's greatest gift to the earth, which I applaud them for trying. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you're out there with your camera taking pictures. But if someone comes along giving you the lightest criticism of a slightly different framing, or get down lower with your camera, or adjust the colors a little bit, or fix your white balance a tiny bit, and people get so obsessed and possessive about it, like, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would get mad about someone trying to help you to get better. Now, if they're doing it in a rude way and calling you names or calling your work names, sure, they're being asses. I get that. In 2021, all the influencers on the internet constantly tell you you need a fast prime or a fast lens. You need a 1.2 or faster to be professional. And then they always try to make it look like every photo is shot at f1.2 and the whole background is blown out in bokeh and only their nose and eyeballs are in focus, and even their ears is out of focus because it's such a wide aperture. Don't do that. The only reason why you need wide aperture for the most part is if it's dark out. You need a better exposure. You need more light in your camera, that kind of stuff. Like, that's the point of it. not to shoot everything under the sun wide open. No one's going to shoot a landscape at f1.2. Like, they had the group of f64s for a reason. People need to stop gear shaming. They'll say, oh, your camera says Nikon, Sony, Canon, Fuji, Pentax, Minolta, whatever it is, and then they'll say, oh, you can't take a good picture on that. It's not good. It's not good. The hell does it matter what name is on the camera? If I'm taking pictures on it and I'm doing well, it doesn't matter what brand I'm using. But if you are using a very cheap like Viltrox lens or Rokinon and you don't like the lens flare or the bokeh shape, or you have like cat's eye in the background, yeah, sure, you might need some better lenses or something. Or if you're doing action and sports, sure, you might need a faster camera for that. But all brands make fast and usable cameras. Like, it's not, the brand on it isn't going to make your photo worse. And building off that, basing a camera off a spec sheet on the internet and the box it comes in, and then making the demand that the camera's bad or not good enough or doesn't live up to expectations, I don't get that. Like, why? Why do people do that? Leave that to the truck people that fight about Ford, Dodge, and Chevy and Toyota and all that. Keep that out of photography. We don't need that. People ask the simplest questions that get answered in 2 seconds if they would read the index of their camera manual. I understand it's faster and easier to post online and get a response in 2 seconds, but at least use the search feature on most Facebook groups or Discord. That's it. And you should just read the you should read the manual anyways. Just work your way through it. Sure, it's a little in-depth, but at least go over the parts that would pertain to what you shoot. So this is another thing that I come up on. If you see a photographer in an area and they're busy talking to the camera or taking photos or video, and you see them looking through the viewfinder doing their thing, wait until they're done changing lenses, taking a break, relaxing, tearing down gear. Then you can walk up and ask them questions, ask them how their day is, talk about photography, tell them what you do. Trust me, they enjoy talking about photography. As long as they're not in a hurry and trying to skedaddle to get out, just ask them questions. There's nothing wrong with that. You learn, they learn. You might ask something that they don't know anything about and you do, but they don't. It's always good. And then off that subject, if someone is sitting here working a camera, getting a scene, doing video, talking head like this, and you want to do the same thing, best bet is you're going to have to go somewhere else, semi-nearby, to do your thing. You don't want to be on top of each other, because if you were here first doing your thing, just be respectful and go somewhere else and then come back when they're done. Because 1, you're going to get on each other's nerves, 2, you're going to get in each other's shots possibly, and 3, you're going to get the same photo. No one needs the same photo of the same rock 40 times on social media tagged as McConnells Mill State Park. Like, if you're going to do the same shot as everybody else, make it unique, make it different, do your own style, your own edit. Be creative. If you're going to go buy a camera that's not a phone, don't go to Best Buy, don't go to the big box stores. Go to your local camera company or your local camera store. Like, I went to YM Camera in Boardman to get mine. They were great, had everything done on the phone, and I was in and out in 5 minutes. And then another thing is, if you own a camera, don't feel the need you can just go and charge everybody money for your portraits. Like, just because you own a Canon Rebel or a Nikon entry camera, don't just go and charge people $100 for their photos. It's probably not going to come out good. You're not going to be doing the right editing on it or anything. So, and just make sure your colors are at least half decent if you're going to do that. And buy like a 50mm, a nifty 50 1.8. They're like $50 to $100 for your camera. It's so much better than the kit lens that comes with most of those entry cameras. Just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Always be looking to learn. If you don't know something, admit it. If you're trying to talk to people that do know what they're talking about and you don't know what they're talking about, but you try to put it off that you do, everyone's going to know that you don't know anything. You're just going to look dumb. So if you don't know something, ask questions, learn. Don't be afraid. Everyone was where you were when they first started. Nobody knew what an aperture was. No one knew what f8 versus 1.8 meant. No one knew high and low ISO limits. No one knew any of that stuff. And the last thing I got to say is, these hard truths, they're not gatekeeping. They're nothing like that. It's just things you got to think about when you're starting out. Everyone's taking the first step, and you just want to make sure you leave photography better than you found it, to be all honest. And my last thing is, it's not really a vent, it's just a thought, is you should join a Discord or a forum so you can ask questions and get responses real fast, learn about gear or learn about shooting different genres, and maybe you'll find something that you didn't like before what you do now. So I would suggest joining the photo and video Discord, the one I'm in. I've been in it for a couple of years, learned a ton from everybody in there. I've helped other people learn, pick out gear. We have gear tickets on there, so if you need something specific, make a gear ticket. We'll get right on it. We'll help you out. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to join up. We have several thousand people on there. It's a good time, honestly. If this was at all useful, entertaining for you, give me that thumbs up and like. Subscribe. I understand this video might not be everyone's cup of tea, but just some of the things I felt the need to vent on, the whole Peter Griffin grind my gears thing, just get it off my chest, so to speak. So hopefully you take this with some ideas, join the Discord, all that, and happy shooting out there. Enjoy yourself.